Hi.
Oh, wow.
We're here.
We're back again.
We're back again to talk about the amazing race. How amazing is that?
This episode was something. But welcome to the currently unnamed podcast where we put the tea in reality. You can always come to us first to quench your reality thirst.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in the Survivor episode, and now I like adding that reality in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always reality, but it's normally reality.
It should be reality, yeah.
Well, there's other things, but anyway. I'm Logan Murphy, a Say Something Gay, here, inspired by Jack. I'm drinking coffee, even though it is a time I don't want to talk about. However, you can tell by my window in the background that it's dark. Just like this dark roast coffee. That's very good.
Period.
Okay, you say that like I'm not, you know what, Lana, go ahead first and then I'll explain.
I mean, I was going to let you go right on and jump in there, Jack. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jack. I am a Twitch streamer, game designer, college student, fabulous person, and coffee addict, explaining why I have iced coffee at 2 hours before midnight.
I was gonna say it's much earlier for me, but
I mean, you do what you got to do. You drink what you need to drink to get through these days. I let you do that.
I have some TikToks I need to edit. So
period.
Check out Jack's TikToks. Anyway, I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and I always take the tea. So if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up, DM me, let me know this tea. So we are here. Oh, I'm drinking water. It's water, people, because I don't like coffee. I'm on a panelist of coffee addicts, and I can't stand it. But it's okay. I like tea.
I mean, I almost made tea before this. I was like, English breakfast or coffee? No, I was gonna say the way you said it's coffee. I was thinking Jack will get this. It's coffee. If you're a Drag Race fan, then you know.
Well, if you know, you know.
See, I was looking for either it's coffee or it's corn. One of the two.
It's corn. No. Anyway, we are back. The Amazing Race is back. We talked about the premiere, so go check that out. But we're back with episode 2. This was a roller coaster.
Yes.
My adrenaline was pumping the entire time. I said, oh no, and then I said, oh no again, and then I said, oh no a third time, about 3 different teams.
I think this one was so I thought last week was crazy because of the scramble aspect of it all, and it was crazy, and it was a lot, and it was everybody everywhere. This one just got me all in my feelings and emotional. Like, I was along the ride. I was like, oh my God, oh no, who's doing, I was just nervous the entire time for my faves. I was nervous for my not so faves. I was nervous for the people I was like, meh. It was just nervous all the way around because I felt like it could go anyway. So
This episode was very interesting. The one thing I will say before we start, normally on The Amazing Race, like, unless I just haven't remembered something, they'll have like 1 or 2 music-based tasks, like maybe like 3 or 4 total a season. This entire leg was music-based, which was really, really weird.
I agree with you. I had the same thought. I was like, everything is music and dance. Like,
yeah, it was definitely weird. Like, strange how they immediately went, okay, so we had a pretty good variety. Okay, a physical task, a slightly mental task, and like, okay, let's throw all of the dance and music challenges at them now. It's like, whoa, slow down. What?
I think it had a lot to do with the fact that they were in Austria, by the way. They went to Austria, we'll talk about all the stuff that happened before
I'll
that.
talk about people that were not trying to leave Germany.
Yeah, they're in Austria. And I think a lot of Austria is like very much a lot of the bigger things, a lot of things people want to get out of Austrian dances and it's a big thing in Austria. I think that very folklore, very folkish music is a big thing for Austria. So I thought we were going to get more musical tasks in Germany, especially like for Oktoberfest, but I felt like they were sticking more with like the beers and the games of stuff of Oktoberfest. But I think the switch was because it's a lot of folk dancing, a lot of folk music, a lot of folk, they could have done a lot of other things. Austria has so much to offer and they could have done a lot, but I think they just focused on music. And maybe it was a music, like you said, music themed week was what it looked like. And it was like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting. I liked the tasks. I felt like some people excelled more than others, which we knew what was going to happen when you cast 3 or 4 dancers on one season. So we're not surprised about what the outcomes were with those people. But some other things shocked me about this race, but we'll talk about it once we jump into the task, because we have to start from the start. What I will want to talk about, I don't understand this. When do we start leaving in groups? When?
Last season.
But why are we leaving in groups and not leaving in the times when people arrived? Like, remember when we did that? Like, you come in first, you get to leave first, and you second. When do we start leaving? The first team comes in first, and then the second and third team get to leave the same. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if I like that.
It was last season, I think. It might be a COVID thing. I'm not exactly sure.
I don't understand how that would affect the COVID part of it all.
I agree with you. That's kind of just like the only thing that comes to mind. Yeah. So we do leave in groups. So it's 3 groups separated by 15 minutes. So the first group is Derek and Claire, Glenda and Lumumba, and Quentin and Maddie, as they were the first 3 teams to complete the first leg. Then the second group is Linton and Sharik, Emily and Molly, Marcus and Michael, and Tim and Rex, leaving at 8:15. First group left at 8. And then leaving at 8:30, we have Abby and Will, Rich and Dom, Lewis and Michelle, and Aubrey and David. And they are driving themselves to Patch, Austria. And once they're there, they have to go to Grunwalderhof.
Good for you.
Yeah, you know the pronunciation.
I'm bad at all pronunciations. It does not matter what language it's in. So, we're leaving. First group's leaving. And everybody stops. They're going to get some instructions. They're going to get some directions. They're going to grab a map. And, some people decide they're not going to get, like, a lot of help. And they're just going to go. And Quentin and Maddie decide, oh, no, we got it. Oh, the clue says we have to drive to Austria? No, we're going to drive to this place in...
Munich.
This place in Munich.
Which...
And when she said it was 10 minutes away, I said, ma'am. What? And then they cut. The Amazing Race editors, the good editors, are back. And I appreciate it. Because immediately they're like, it cuts to Claire. And she's like, oh, 2-hour drive? Great, cool.
I mean, right at the beginning, Phil said it's going to be 90 miles away from where they were to where they're going. And so when that lady said 10 minutes, I was like, 10 minutes?
I was like, okay, do they have like a task they need to stop in Munich before they go? Like,
it doesn't make sense.
Wait, hold on, please.
I was like, what are you looking at? And who did you ask? And what did you ask them? Like,
and the answer was nothing.
Like, Austria is literally told you in the clue that you're driving to Austria, which is a whole nother country. I don't understand how they thought a whole nother country was 10 minutes away. Like,
I think this is just a classic example of people not reading the full clue.
They skimmed it, saw, okay, we have to go to this place, and assumed it was in the exact same city, and they were going to fly to somewhere else, when they really were driving across a border in order to get there.
Yep.
It blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Yeah. Everybody else seems to get off to a pretty decent start, though.
Mhm.
We're going. We end up in Grunwalderhof.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Roadblock. Roadblock. Who wants to call in the cows?
Not me.
Yeah,
okay.
I would have done it.
I would have done well.
I would have done well too. I think I would have knocked that out the park the first time around.
So you have to learn and correctly sing 3 yodels along with some hand movements. And they're given traditional Austrian costumes that they have to wear for the rest of the leg.
Yep.
So just running through the teams so we know everybody who's doing this challenge. Abby's doing this challenge. Aubrey does this challenge. Claire certainly does this challenge, and we'll talk about Claire a lot. Emily, Glenda, Linton, Michelle, Michael, Maddie, Dom, and Rex. Now, Miss Claire, they show up first. They show up first,
mm-hmm.
and she can't get it. And
maybe
she can't get it. And she can't get it. She can't get it, and then people are passing her.
People coming in, they singing, and they leaving, and she still can't get it. It's the hoity, ole who? She can't get it.
No.
She can't get it at all. And Derek, oh my God, his face as he's sitting there, I feel like Derek was like, I am rethinking this relationship right now. Looking at Claire, he really
maybe I should have gone with Hannah Chata.
Maybe I should have went with Hannah because this is ridiculous. He was really reevaluating his whole life standing by that tractor as every team would come in, get it, and leave. And even Rex comes in with his dyslexia, and he's there for a little bit of time as well. But he gets it before Claire. And it was just, it hurt. It was painful to watch and painful on my ears because poor Claire is tone deaf too. On top of, we had to hear her singing it more than anybody else. And we had to hear the hoity, 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 hoity.
It was,
oh my God.
It was a mess. And
it was a mess. My ears. I love Claire.
Think that Phil has ever said before, at least that I can remember, you are not gonna want to hear what happens. He literally says they are going to sing. Are you sure you want to listen to this? And I just look over and I'm like, Phil, this is the first time you've shed doubt on the contestants' abilities ever.
Phil's throwing shade. Maybe this break was good for Mr. Phil Kogan too. We talked about Jeff Probst in the Survivor episode. Mm-hmm. I think this break was also very good for Mr. Kogan.
I do too.
We get early season shady Phil, and I love it.
I feel like all hosts need to either be very much engaged in everything, which I feel like that's the one thing about Phil. I don't think he's ever been disengaged from this show. I think he's always been engaged in what's happening. But like you said, now we're getting Phil coming back to his pettiness, to his shadiness, to him being more open and just saying how he feel about things. And I love that. I like seeing Phil being oh, you really want to hear that singing happening? Oh.
And for all of those reasons, that's why Arissa Cox is the best reality competition show host.
Yes.
Period.
Anyway.
If you disagree, you can talk to the wall.
Oh, yes, you fight. Look, at me if you want to.
At me if you want to. I don't care. I will defend
I promise you, it will not change my mind. It will not change my mind.
And the thing I love most about this whole sequence is 9 teams have fully eclipsed Derek and Claire. And Quentin and Maddie are still not there. They
They
are
literally
still
get there
not
as
there
they leave. It's
as
like
they're leaving.
it's
Like-
how like
You couldn't script it better. Like you couldn't.
Abby and Will just got there. Like Abby and Will were following I'm making sure I have the right name here, Quentin and Maddie.
Yeah.
And they still were like, what? If I had to take a guess on time,
30 minutes.
30, 40 minutes later than everybody else? Because Claire was there for longer.
She was so there for a long time.
Yeah.
She was, if I had to guess, probably there for about 2 to 3 hours. When every other team was reasonably able to get in and out within an hour. And
most of them took like 1 to 3 attempts.
Mhm.
Someone got it the first try. I don't remember who it was.
It was I want to
Was
say
it Michelle?
no. Wait. Let me look
Which
at the
one?
name. Let me look at my names.
I don't remember.
I have to look. Sorry for all the rustling paper. I think it was. Oh, it was Louis and Michelle.
And
You're
what
right.
about it?
You're
and
right.
what about it?
Look, I said you were right.
Eh.
Calm down. Calm down. Okay, you were right for once. Calm down.
Thank you. So once the teams finish up the roadblock, they have to drive themselves to Innsbruck, Austria, where they have to find their next clue by the river. And I saw this clip as they were going up to the clue box, and I said, "Gay! There's gay happening," and I was very happy. There were pride flags all over.
It's nice to see queer culture being represented, especially on like a show that's all about global travel.
Okay,
even if it's like just in the back.
I totally missed the flags because I was too busy watching them run to the clue box, so I did not see the flags. So I was very much confused by what you just said. I was about to say, what gay happened? I don't know what gay happened while they were running to the clue box, but the flags.
They got rid of them last week, so they had to include the flags this week.
Okay, but yeah.
Jesus Christ,
you're so weird. Anyway, but yes, good for representation for the flags to be shown.
We get to Innsbruck, and it's a detour. Ooh, nobody's surprised it's a detour.
It's a detour.
We have bells ringing or partner swinging. So bells ringing, you have to use Tyrolean bells to perform a traditional Austrian folk song. And it requires like 2 at once for most of the time. Or partner swinging, you have to learn a traditional Austrian wedding dance. Now, as far as all the teams that do each task, we only have 4 teams that chose bells ringing, and that's Derek and Claire, Marcus and Michael, Rich and Dom, and Tim and Rex. And then the partner swinging is everybody else, so that's Abby and Will, Aubrey and David, Emily and Molly, Glenda and Lumumba, Linton and Sharik, Louis and Michelle, and Quentin and Maddie.
Okay. So let's start with the bells, because I have some thoughts about these bells. That would have been the challenge I would have chosen, is the bells.
Me as well.
I would have chosen the bells because I'm very much a musical person. I love music, and I can do music. I would have been like, yes, let's do the music, because especially if it's not on like a staff, even if it's on the staff, I can read the staff, so I can do the music part. And this is what tripped me out, because like Marcus and Michael went in there and they practiced it, and they got it down really good in the practice. They got it down pretty fast and really good in the practice. But then when they went to actually do it, there was an accordion player there with them, and it threw them completely off. Like they could not figure out the timing of it all with the accordion player. Now, in my mind, I'm like, why does that throw you off? It's just really just doing what you just did with some accompaniment. It's like,
it really was just like playing a single note in time with them. So I don't know how that threw them off.
I'm gonna. So they both said that they played instruments, and I loved this confessional moment where Marcus is like, "Oh yeah, I'm the only one that's played an instrument," and Michael was like, "It's so interesting, given the fact that we're 8 years apart. The fact that he doesn't even know I played the clarinet.
The clarinet.
Like, he didn't even know I played the clarinet.
He was like, "You played?" I'm like, "Are you brothers?" But 8 years apart is a big difference. And so he didn't know.
Between me and my brother, so I understand. Like, I
get
it.
Like, he's like, I don't know that part of your life. I'm sorry, I didn't know. No, I get it. But that also confused me too, because I'm like, if both of you all played instruments, you should be used to playing with other instruments and other people.
Well, it's probably been a minute.
I mean, but I feel, well, maybe it's just me. I feel like, because I'm a singer and I can sing a cappella by myself, and you throw on the accompaniment track and I can sing with the accompaniment track, because that's what you have to do. You always are singing with some other accompaniment. So, but it was really their timing. And that was the thing. That's what threw them off. It was the timing of it all, which I found very interesting. But it took them a minute. And I was like, wow. But when they got it, but they were very frustrated with each other for a minute, because I thought they were about to be like, I thought they were gonna do something stupid like say, let's switch tasks. Like, I can't stand when people get to a task and be like, let's switch tasks. I'm like, you spent 40 minutes to an hour here. I am not switching tasks after I've spent an hour into this task. Like, we go just get it. We go just get it.
Yeah. Jack, which one would you have which one would you have chose?
So I can't dance. Just
great, cool.
Straight up, I can't dance. So I would absolutely be going for the bells. Mostly because I'm used to doing things like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like that kind of timing is natural to me.
Sure.
And only having to ring bells, and especially reading off a script, like the note sheet that they had there, which was like some weird sheet music mix. I could definitely do that. Dancing, we would have to switch tasks. I would get there and be like, we're driving to the other place. I hope you realize.
Oh no.
Yeah, I would have never. I mean, I have rhythm. I could dance, but the physical aspect of it all would have been like, nah, I'm going for those bells. Let's just do these bells things, because I'm not finna. I don't know what the dance entails. I don't know how much energy I'm going to waste. Doing this dance. So I would have definitely chose the bells. But even, like I said, Marcus and Michael looked like the only ones who did the bells that actually had a really hard time doing the bells. I feel like everybody else who came in to do the bells pretty much had I mean, Rex and Tim
were the ones that I was like, and Rich and Dom had a bit of trouble at one point. True. Derek and Claire came in, slayed
they got that
done. They skipped multiple people by doing that.
Yeah.
And also, once again, it was almost ironic that, like, okay, you mentioned that Rex is dyslexic. Yeah, we're going to give him 2 challenges in a row that require him reading letters.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like a moment of, oh no.
It was a moment of, like, honestly, kind of what the fuck. Like, I wasn't rooting for Tim and Rex. Let me make that clear.
Also but
it was also like, if you know that you're casting someone with dyslexia, and it had to have been brought up during the casting process, it's confusing that there's so many challenges with reading involved. You would have thought, okay, maybe let's adjust it, try to figure out something. I also want to play devil's advocate. Rex chose to do.
I was about to say, he could have chosen the dance.
Well, but he also chose to do the roadblock. So like they chose them, but also they didn't know what
I'm
it was
about to say they don't
entailing.
know what the thing entails. So even if him choosing it, he didn't know that it was going to be yodeling. He had to read off this cue card to figure out what it was going to do. And the same thing with the bells. He didn't know that he was going to have to read these things off on this paper to know what to do. It's just you pick one. I agree. Like, yeah, they should have adjusted some things if they knew they were going to cast someone who has dyslexia, but in all honesty, when I play games and I am legally blind and I know this, and if I choose to tell the production that I am legally blind in a game, I don't want them to change anything. And I tell them that don't change your games to fit me, because I'm the only person maybe possibly with this disability. That's not fair to everybody else on the cast to change an entire set of game for me. You let me handle it and I'll figure it out. If I can't win the challenge, I just can't win the challenge, and I'll have to use my social part of the game to keep me in the game. I can't rely on you fixing things for me and just me. That's not fair to anybody else. So I'm sure Rex is like, yeah, I have dyslexia, but you can't change the game just for me. That's not fair to everybody else in who's playing. So I get it, but it's still like, wow. I really wish they wouldn't have done 2 in a row. It was because it was a possibility he could pick to do the roadblock, and then he had to do the detour. So
it's an unfortunate
thing that happened. Yeah. But even in all of that, he didn't do so bad.
No. He really didn't.
The yodeling, he didn't do great by any means of the imagination.
No.
But the bells, they did a pretty reasonably good job.
So everybody, like I said, everybody in the bells did a present, except Marcus and Michael. They had their challenges, and Tim and Rex had their challenges, but everybody else seemed to just get through it pretty easy. Dom and Rich even had their challenges in that they just couldn't get the timing. It was the timing of it all again for them. It was just hearing the accordion threw them off, which I found to be very interesting that was the case. But they handled it. Let's move on to the dance, because a lot of teams did the dance.
Yeah.
And I laughed. This is the first time that was funny to me about Glenda and Lumumba's height. I could not stop laughing watching that height difference happen on the dance when he had to twirl her around, and she's like giving him the finger down so he can at least have.
She's literally like,
here's something.
Sipping.
She's literally doing this, and he can only hold on to one finger because he couldn't reach
This is not us making fun of them, because we love this team.
I love these people down. I love Glenda and Lumumba down. But that was the first moment that their height was an issue, and it was the height difference. And it was so funny. But they handled it so well and so cute that I still love them so. Like, I think I fell in love with them a little bit more watching them do that. And it was just the funniest thing. I laughed. It was so cute.
The one question that I do actually have is that can you, I'm trying to figure out the way to say this. So obviously if there isn't a male presenting, female presenting partner, they have specific, they can basically decide which side of the task they want each person to do. Is that option offered to a male presenting, female presenting duo? Or is it just like, okay, you're taking this position, you're taking this position, don't want to hear any of your arguments, go?
So like you're saying, did Lumumba have to be in the male quote unquote
role?
Yeah. Could they have swapped because it would have made sense?
To my knowledge, there hasn't been anyone on The Amazing Race at the time of them filming who has identified outside of the gender binary. I don't know if that's even a question of anything that exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and the interesting thing as well is I think there are only 3 or 4 teams that are made up of the same gender.
I would,
and
yes.
the only ones that did, that's interesting, the only team of the same genders that did the dance challenge was Emily and Molly.
And they're
Two
basically
women.
the same height
They're
because
basically
they
height.
were
They're twins.
twins.
Yeah.
So,
That's interesting. I never even thought about that.
It's crossed my mind a few times because we've had a few very gender-based challenges on Amazing Race before. I don't think it's something that Amazing Race has thought about.
I don't even.
Because they haven't had anyone outside of the gender binary.
Right.
Now, because of the holy trinity of CBS reality TV, the only show to cast a non-binary person at this point is Survivor. And so, and Survivor.
Oh wait, non-binary.
Non-binary.
Yes, that'd be true.
Yes.
The trans umbrella. Big Brother also.
The trans umbrella is a different thing.
But the trans umbrella. Yeah.
Specifically identifying outside as non-binary or gender non-conforming, the only person is Effie.
Yeah, and that is the only. And then that's the only reason Survivor had to think about what Jeff Rowe was saying about come on in, guys, and that's why they decided to just say come on in, which they had to think about that because they've had that non-binary thing. I think with Amazing Race, they've never had, like you said, they've never had anybody who's outwardly identified themselves as non-binary, and didn't have those gender roles and was very gender fluid. So you can't say you're going to play the male role in this dance and you're the female role in this dance, because what if we have two people or a team who, or somebody who is non-binary and then somebody who is the, or what if you have two non-binary people? Then they have to decide. I guess if they have two non-binary people on a team, they'll let them decide which ones you want to do. But if you have a couple who is, they're not saying they're non-binary, they identify as male and female, then they take those traditional roles as the male and female. I just think it just hasn't come up yet. They just haven't had a reason to think about it. They haven't had a reason. And even if they did have somebody on the show who was non-binary, let's say they had a non-binary team and it comes to doing a wedding dance they just pick, you do this, I'll do this, I'll take this role, you take this role. It's really not a big issue for them to say, you know what, let's think about it. I think they'll just be like, you just make the choice which role you want to do when you get to those tasks.
Yeah. And also just a slight correction. Evie started using they, them post the season actually being filmed. When it was currently being filmed, Evie at the time did use she, but they then swapped over. So it's the same situation as Paul from BB 18 and 19, where they used him while the show was going on, but now it's swapped to they he.
Yep. But I think Evie was, she might have went by she, her, but I think she was one of the reasons that for them to decide to start going in a more gender fluid, role or whatever. But
let me go be the first non-binary person on Amazing Race. How about that?
Then we'll see. Because if you decide that you want to take the female role, who will stop you?
I'm going to be fully transparent. I don't think I would be the best representation because I outwardly present very masculine.
Yes, very
so
much.
I don't know how great of a representation I would be. Yeah. But anyway,
back on track.
I loved that Aubrey and David specifically were like, oh my god, a dance challenge, yay. And then Quentin and Maddie the same way when they finish and they're like, there's a dance challenge, we have a chance, there's a dance challenge. And they all pretty much did a really good job. The only person I outwardly remember not doing super well were Glenda and Lumumba, because he just, not even because of the height difference, he just couldn't get the move that he did by himself. He just couldn't get it. Poor baby.
They tried their best.
They did their best. I mean, they still did pretty damn good.
They were still pretty fast with it, so it's not.
I don't know if you. Well, they were the first also to get to that task, so they had that little bit of buffer space that they could have used. I don't know if you have anything else about the pit stop or the detours, Jack. I was just gonna dive into.
I don't really, other than like it was definitely. This is about the point where I mentally said what we brought up earlier, like this is all dance related or like music related. Okay, I don't think they've done this before. Okay, and then I just kind of moved on. Was like, okay, go Claire, go.
But it was interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting episode. And then obviously now we have the placements.
The pit stop. Woof.
Yeah.
So, this was where it got heat a little interesting for real.
Spicy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have the winner of the leg. Michael and Marcus. Yay.
They did it.
They did the thing.
I was very proud of them because it was not looking good at the barrels for them for a second. But they did.
They had enough of a lead coming out of that yodel, though.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And they got, I have it written down here. They got, as a prize, let me pull it back up because I had it earlier.
A trip for two.
Not even that. They got Expedia reward points for a trip.
Yes.
Sure.
I mean, if you're going to give out points for a trip, sure, take it.
To Peru.
For Peru.
To Lima, Peru. But also,
Peru.
Why not just give the trip? Why specifically reward points for
they have a certain number of contractual things that they have to promote.
I'm about to say
Expedia points is one of those things that we're going to do.
Expedia is trying to promote their rewards points system. So they're trying to give out, they have to say, we're giving you reward points. But basically they're giving them the whole trip. It's a trip. But Expedia is trying to promote their reward points at this time because we saw plenty of Expedia commercials in between every commercial break. Expedia, they're not promoting us, so I'm not going to keep talking about them. But
I don't remember at what point the Rich and Dom of it all happens. So I'm just going to go through people, and then when the Rich and the Dom happens, we'll pop in. But second place, Glenda and Lumumba. Love. Third place, Linton and Sharik.
Let me just point this out. Can I just say all the black people coming in first, second, and third?
We're about to say the same thing, so please do.
All the black people coming in first, second, and third warmed my entire heart and my soul and my mind and my life.
You know, Lana, that is the first time that 3 all African American teams placed first, second, and third.
Look here.
Has that happened? That even had the chance to happen before?
It had chances. It has had chances, but they just.
Oh, yep, last season.
Yeah, because you had Michael, and whatever, and he had Cairo, and it had opportunities. Yeah. They've had opportunities in the past for that to happen, but for this to happen, I was like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, okay, good. Marcus and Michael, purr. And then here come Lumumba and Glenda, and I'm like, oh, great. And then I was like, wait a minute. Purr. Damn. I was like, wait. Because I'm watching with my sister, and she was like, she happened to she was like, all the black people came in together. I said, sure did. Look at that. That ain't never happened before, but it was lovely to see. So I was all in my feelings, and I was like, now I need Rich and Dom to run in here real quick, so I can have Dom in that mix too. I need that to happen real quick, but it didn't happen.
Let's just skip forward to the Rich and Dom of it all. So they make it.
Wait, Jack was about to say
one more thing though.
Okay.
This also does solidify Glenda and Lumumba as the best current team in the race, having an average of second place.
Twice.
The next closest is Claire with, doing the math, 2.5. So, I mean, 2 second places back to back this early in the leg, I would very much forecast that they are a strong team to go far, along with Linton and Sharik, who fourth, third.
Love it.
So I mean,
I
like that 3 right there. So
I was here for that 3, but that was a good moment for me. But yeah, let's jump into the Rich and Dom of it all because
we'll go through the other placements in a second. I wanted to do the top 3 first, but so Rich and Dom at some point make it, and they're like, "So you're missing something."
Yeah, you're missing your hat.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
You're missing your hat.
So they have to run back to the parking garage.
The parking garage, not
the parking space.
And this is the thing. They were very much like, it could be anywhere. It could be on the street. It could be, but Dom was like, it's in the car. It has to be in the car. It's in the car. It has to be in the car. But they really didn't know if it was in the car. They really thought it could be anywhere between the car and the pit stop, which apparently that parking garage was quite far from where they were because they were running for what seemed like forever. And teams were checking in very quickly behind that. And I was like, oh, no. Yeah. Oh no! Is this not a hat? Not a hat taking out Dom. Not a hat is going to take out my rainbow haired queen. Not a stinking hat. I was panicking when I tell y'all I was losing my mind in this house. My sister was looking at me like I was crazy, but I was like, "There is no way a hat. I'm not doing this with you, Amazing Race. A hat is not going to take out another rainbow queen from me in 2 weeks. I am not about to let a hat be the reason my queen walks out this door. I was panicking. I was freaking out. And when every team would come in and check in, I was freaking out even more. A hat? A stinking hat. Oh my God. I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
And 2 things. So first off, they very clearly showed in the beginning of the episode, I think it was Claire and Derek also getting out of the car and saying, like, make sure to grab everything. Make sure to grab everything. Yep. And Dom, they literally flashed to Dom and my God.
Rich.
Dom and Rich. And they're like, they don't have they flash back with like a dun 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 dun. Sound effect.
The good old Amazing
So, and then I think they knew it was still in the car, and they were very much like knowledgeable of it. Instead of just having them be like, "Okay, you're not going to be able to get the hat back. Stand to the side. We'll let you check in 30 minutes." Like it wasn't like a penalty in the sense of like, "Okay, you just need to wait out your time. We'll see you in like 30 minutes. It was go back, get the hat. We know where it is. You guys have to go get it. Because normally, like if they skip a roadblock or something, 2 hours ish.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, those penalties are brutal. I was like, because you could get by with 2 hours, because sometimes teams don't come in for 2 hours behind some other teams and things like that. But 4 hours, if I have to sit on the side for 4 hours, I will be losing my goddamn mind.
Okay. I mean, I don't blame them because it is 4 hours is about the time it would take to probably do a roadblock and then drive to and from it, plus like 2 hours, which is a reasonable time.
Yeah.
Versus if it was 2 hours, it'd just be, okay, you just skip the roadblock. Haha.
Right. More people would be incentivized to do something like that.
Yeah.
But, okay. So other teams come in. So let's start back with the placements because,
4th place. Somehow, by the grace of God, Derek and Claire.
Yeah. They skipped a lot of people. Them Bells skipped. They
went from 1st to 10th.
To 10th.
To 4th.
Those Bells.
Yeah.
Those Bells.
5th place, Lewis and Michelle. Very consistent. So
that dance took them right on in there because they just got that right out the way.
6th, Abby and Will. And I want to point out, in the confessional at the start of the episode, Will had his hair down, and I was like, now, who the fuck is this man? Who is this white man I've never seen before? And then I was like, wait, that's Will.
Same man.
I was gagged. 7th, Emily and Molly. Consistency, good. Aubrey and David made up a lot of time because they got lost as well at the start of the episode.
Yeah.
Made up a lot of time with that dance, so they ended up 8th. 9th, Rich and Dumb, thank goodness. Okay. We're good. We're good.
We're good.
It's okay.
We're good.
We're good. Calm down. Everybody relax.
Consistent. They're
Everybody
consistent.
relax.
They got 9th twice. We'll take it.
Relax. It's okay. They're all right. They're still here. Whew.
And so it's down to Tim and Rex and Quentin and Maddie. And I genuinely did not know who was going to make it.
Funnily enough, it was football coach versus football
cheerleaders.
I kind of love that. Not going to lie to you. Kind of loved it.
I did too.
And then Quentin and Maddie come in, and they are not last. And we lose Tim and Rex.
Quentin and Maddie slayed the dance. Nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprise. They slayed that dance. That dance took them 5-10 minutes to learn and do it. Like, they were in and out of there so fast.
Yeah.
It looked like, well, from the edit, it looked like 5-10 minutes. So like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. They probably got it on the first try.
Yeah,
and I mean, if they were not like dancers, they were done.
Yeah.
The only reason they made it through that leg is because it was a music-based leg. There is no way that you should be able to get to a roadblock 2 hours late and somehow still survive. Unless you have incredible skill with the roadblock and the detour. And lucky for them, it was a music week.
Or unless you're those blonde girls from season 31 who just kept getting saved.
But
anyway,
yes, we lose Tim and Rex, and that was sad because I really did enjoy Tim and Rex. I thought they were a nice team. I would have loved to see Rex is an older gentleman. He lost 50 pounds to be on this race. He worked really hard. He did really well for more than what he thought. He thought they would be gone last week, so it was really great to see. Like I said, this season, I don't have anybody I've yet to say, I don't like this team. And it's 2 weeks in, and I have not found a team I didn't like.
This was the one team that I was ambivalent on. I was like, okay.
I wasn't even ambivalent on them. I was like, I like them. They're a nice team. I didn't have an issue with, like, usually, okay, I'll say it. I'm going to say it. Usually, the straight white male teams, I'm like, meh, very with them. This team, I was not. I was like, you know what? I kind of like him. I like his story. I like the fact that he's this football coach. He really don't need this money. He's just doing this for the experience of traveling the world with his buddy. Right, with his friend, and they just traveling the world. He an older man. He was not in the best of shape. He lost 50 pounds so he can at least run this race and give it the best shot. His friend is just a friend. They play golf together. It was nothing problematic with them. Nothing where I'm like, ugh, gross. Nothing. I actually liked them. So there's nobody on this race this season that I'm like, I don't like them. Which is very rare for me in Amazing Race. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very glad. Every elimination is going to suck. Every elimination is going to be hard, especially since we know there's no non-elimination rounds. That took the surprise element of it from the show. So it's like you get in or you're done. So I'm very happy with this season. I'm very happy with these players. Casting. Good job, casting. You did a really good job because I don't get anybody. Last season, it was people I just didn't care for. The season before that, it was people I didn't care for. So I feel like good job for you.
I do want to also say as we wrap this up, a team that was really, really interesting me throughout this leg was Aubrey and David. Mm-hmm. Somehow they just continued to manage to pull themselves out of a rut. Mm-hmm. Fun fact. They were told they were going to be on the Amazing Race and were not alternates 2 hours before they needed to be on the race. 2 hours. So yeah, no.
So they were alternates.
They were alternates, and I was just quickly skimming through the Wikipedia article to make sure like I got the placements right, and I scroll up, and a specific mention is Aubrey and David were not initially selected for the final cast, but were called to compete 2 hours before it started production. So they literally were like, "Oh shit, we gotta go get stuff from Target." And obviously they were saved a little bit by being able to be flied out to Munich and like have that starting race. But obviously something went wrong with another team super close to when it was supposed to begin.
I will put it like this. Oh my God, that is very interesting, because if I was an alternate for any show and they called me 2 hours before and said, you have to get yourself together to go on this, I would freak out, because number one, you can't just call me 2 hours before and say you have to get your stuff packed and ready to go. I don't have stuff packed and ready. Like, I don't have stuff that I need to take on a trip around the world just sitting around my house. I have to go to the store. Now, if I got to go to the store, somebody got to give me some money, because I don't have money just sitting around so I can just run to Target and buy outfits and toiletries, and I don't have that. So I'm like, so Amazing Race, y'all giving me some petty cash so I can run to the store and buy me some yoga pants and some t-shirts in a specific color, because I got to coordinate with my partner. Then we got to get some toiletries and all kind of stuff to get through this Amazing Race. That's crazy. That's, I mean, that might be just me and my my
no, I didn't say my.
I don't have the money to do that.
Yeah. Well, on that note,
that's wild. That is wild.
One more fun thing I found while scouring.
Jack, don't shock me and don't gag me again. But go ahead.
So you know how we said there was no non-elimination legs?
Mm-hmm.
They found a different way to extend it. This next leg is going to be 2 episodes long. It is a mega leg.
Mega leg.
Okay. You gotta have a mega leg. You have to say, and you're going to keep racing. We gotta have that. You can't cut that out.
We're going Austria to Italy in the next episode, and then they're going to continue in Italy, I believe.
Yep, 2 legs in Italy. 2 legs in Italy.
I don't even think it's because it specifically says a mega leg. What I assume is going to happen is the same thing I think that they did in a previous season, where it is literally you have 2 detours and 2 roadblocks that you need to complete before you can check in. They don't even hit them with a pit stop in the middle. So
it's either. I think it's either or. I think it could be that.
It could be that,
or it could be they get to the pit stop and Phil says, "Here's your next clue." You're still racing, and they keep going. And so that'll be the shocker of, oh, it's not a non-elimination leg. It's just still one freaking long leg. So 2 legs in Italy where it's just long. Oh, well, okay. Well, we knew they were going to do something like that, because they always do something like that.
Which, I mean, is a better way, realistically, to extend out the race, especially because they didn't really know, because the pandemic was still going on during this race. Even though it was technically in the end stages of it, it was still going on, and they probably still were considering, like, if we have to cut legs, we'll do it here and here and here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not bad. There's a lot worse. There's a lot worse ways they can cut legs.
Yeah.
I love being gooped and gagged on the show. So thank you, Jay, because I had no idea about that. But yeah.
We'll catch up with the first part of the mega leg.
Yes, we will. So y'all know what to do. On your way out, please like, subscribe, and check out this channel. You see our name scrolling. Check out our Twitter on @the_cup_reality, and then you'll get all the notifications on when we'll be posting, when we'll be dropping things, and our schedule is going to come out. And if you're just cool people and really like what you see, follow us. We're cool people. We have some interesting Twitters on ourselves. We're here. Follow Logan, myself, and Jack. Jack has a Twitch page you might want to check out, because it's a great Twitch page. And of course, it's TikToks, like you said earlier. Check out Jack's TikToks. That's it. We're good. I think we did it. We'll be back next week to talk more Amazing Race. So, Cheers, fellas.
Cheers. There's only ice in this thing at this point.
Mine is gone. I don't have
Mine is
any more.
gone.
Yeah, bye, y'all. I need more drinks or something. I don't know.